watching OSU football with Brandon Chapman. I'm Mike Sherman from the Oklahoman here talking with our OSU beat writer Brandon Chapman, and we're talking about the return of Victor Johnson. Brandon, where is Victor Johnson most needed right now for the Cowboys?
I'd say right now for the Cowboys, he's needed to provide some depth at that safety position. Obviously, with Daytwan Lowe looking like he might miss the season, you only have 3 true freshmen back there, and obviously that's a position where there might be some young mental mistakes at the safety position. So if Victor Johnson comes in and he's able to back up Markel Martin and Johnny Thomas as that third safety, you feel a lot more comfortable with what's going on back there.
Victor Johnson missed time, whether he was suspended or not, whether he was being disciplined or not, for 2 brushes with the law this summer, including an arrest on DUI. How has Mike Gundy handled this so far? I think he's been doing a lot of Stairmasters, but what other penalties has Victor Johnson faced?
I think it's just a lot of Stairmasters. I'm not sure if he's going to play in the first game or not. I might be a little bit surprised if he did. I'd say at this point, obviously Mike Gundy, he's done his research on it since he took so much time before he made the decision that Victor Johnson would come back today, which is Monday. So obviously he feels pretty good about what happened with the situation, and he understands the situation, so he decided he was going to give Victor another chance.
What's his upside, Brandon? Is he a guy who's going to move in and if things don't go well, can be a solid safety in this league?
I'd say so. He's a guy who might be able to step in and just be a very solid player back there. He could step in for Markel if something were to happen to Markel. He could step in for Johnny if something were to happen to Johnny. I mean, he's definitely a solid safety. And let's not forget his kick return ability. He's been doing that since his freshman year. He's probably the most experienced kick returner on the team. So that's another position where he'll be able to help. And obviously on special teams, he'll be able to help covering kicks and things like that. So it's a nice addition if he does indeed come out of his suspension and play the season this
What's
year.
the status of OSU's other guy who ran into trouble with the law, an incident at a bar in Stillwater involving hitting a teammate in the face with a former teammate, Jamie Blatnick? What's his status?
Well, the status remains the same. I mean, Mike told us he pretty much let us know when the situation changes, and with Victor Johnson, you know, obviously his situation changed. He's back on the field and he's expected to practice today, which is Monday. For Jamie Blatnick, I think he's still back out there on the Stairmaster in the heat. He's still on his way to Mount Everest, as Coach Gundy said. So his situation has not changed, and I wouldn't expect it to change until a decision is made as far as the legal side of it, whether it's a felony or it's dropped down to a misdemeanor. Obviously, he's not going to play for the Cowboys with a felony on his plate.
Thanks, Brandon. That's all for this edition of OSU Football with Brandon Chapman, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, and every morning in the Oklahoma.